Hey, what's up? It's Frano here. I'm going to talk a little bit about words surrounding war. Try and do a bit of decoding there with some of the words and terms used for people in charge and stuff like that. Alright, well, first you start on the bottom with the word soldier. So soul is like solar energy. So they're using a lot of these soldiers' solar energy. Obviously, they're putting the energy into going to war. So you could say soul dear. You could say it's energy or it's people that we hold dear to us, or you could say it obviously contains the word die in it in a darker form, like soul die are. So there is the kind of consequence of dying when you're a soldier, of course. And then we have do your. Soldier dear, D-I-E-R, is a bit like do your. So you're doing your soul work, you're doing your energy work for this particular institution, obviously the army in that case. So if you look at the word troop, it comes from medieval Latin tropus, which tropus literally meant a flock. But nowadays we see flock as a flock of animals and sheep, but originally you'd use flock to describe a human group. So actually meanings change a lot over time. So I'm going to look at, alright, lieutenant. So nowadays you see tenant as someone who owns a property, or actually someone who lives under a property. You call them a tenant. But I like quite interested in this ant, because ant is used a lot in, for example, finance. They're fine ants. They are just ants under the microscope of the system, but they are living in a finer way. Also, fine is actually like when you pay a fine, you're paying tax, so it all kind of money, you're paying money, finance. But yeah, tenant, lieutenant. Yeah, so 10 is normally like the ultimate 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So a lieutenant is someone who's quite high up, obviously. So yeah, I'm going to leave that one there. I haven't done a lot of research on that. So commander, the word commander. Amanda actually comes from the word maunder, which means roughly red man. So red man. So I mean, you can think of that as what you will, but these are co-red men. So they're commanders. They're not quite, the mander, the red man on top, or the devil, if you want to go really religious about it. But no, war is obviously an evil game. So they're co-red men that are working to direct the soldiers, direct the solar energy below on the foot soldiers. So I'm going to look at the word warrior. I thought the word warrior would, because like I read The Art of Peace. I keep going on about The Art of Peace, but it's like you get these peaceful warriors, which I'm quite all about. But the actual word warrior, obviously it contains the word war in it, but also it comes from warrior, Northern French warrior, which sounds a bit almost like werewolf and spelled a bit like that, but no, which is from guerriere, and guerriere actually means to make war. So a warrior is actually exactly translated to as someone who actually goes and makes war. So that's obviously, it's not actually a good word. If anything, it's almost like the commander or the co-red man. It would be the guy on top of it, the instigator, the director of war, the warrior, is actually, if you look at the origins of the word, it's not good. But nowadays people use it all the time, like fighters, like martial arts fighters, warriors. And it's interesting to look at the word martial arts, because martial is a lot like marital. It's like a marital thing. Obviously, getting married, it's a commitment. It's a long term. It's supposed to be a long term goal or a long term bond. Sorry. So that's the same thing with martial arts. If you want to really dedicate yourself in martial arts, it needs to be a long term thing, not just something you wish to do for short term ego goals or to impress people. I mean, the true martial artist sees it as a marital thing and they use it for their whole life. So I've pretty much done all my notes here. I also looked briefly into the word society, which actually just means companionship among men or others. So society is a good word. But I'm going to go a little bit off the cuff about internet words, because I don't know if a lot of you are aware, but the internet was developed originally kind of in the 60s. It was stemming from words from the 60s, and you get a lot of the idea of it, that is. And you get a lot of words like surf. It's kind of from a hippie culture, so you get surfing the web. You kind of get a lot of things like you're deleting your cookies, because it's kind of like almost like a stoner food. Cookies, you can eat them, you can delete them. You know what I mean? That they're just crumbs, and they can turn into crumbs and whatever. But then there's a lot of words that are kind of in computer. My mind's gone blank. This is what happens when you don't prepare for something. But I mean, all you have to do is look at computers and how it all works, and look at all the words on the internet and stuff, and how, you know, what you're being taught is basically from a bunch of hippies that wanted to connect people in a positive way throughout the world for peace. Unfortunately, along the way, things sometimes get a bit twisted. And if you look even at the Apple logo, a lot of people have theorized that the bite from the apple is like the bite from all the way back to Adam and Eve biting the forbidden fruit. It's almost like they're saying it's an evil thing they found, this idea. Obviously now it goes into a lot of evil being used as data collection, NSA, CIA, Facebook and Google, and the kind of monopoly of it all makes it a little bit scary, I suppose. But the internet is still, I believe it's still in the stage of being a kind of hippie free culture at the moment. We just don't know how much big companies like YouTube will want to regulate people in the future just for speaking their mind. And you got to remember that free human will and free speech and stuff like that, free will, they're human rights. So we can never let anyone stop us from using our human rights, obviously within reason. If you're going to post something on the internet, you're not going to go ahead and post something that's just crazy racist, or you're not going to post something you're not going to threaten to, terrorize and bomb people, because then they will come after you, because they are monitoring the videos and the content you put out there. So yeah, I'm just gonna leave it there basically. So there's a bit of research for you today. This is part 2 of decoding the English language. So peace in and out, love and my high vibrations, and my full gratitude.